What's up, guys? Today I am trading in the GT4 after about a year and a half ownership. Figured I would do another video that people seem to like, ownership review of a particular car, and I will go from head to toe, tell you everything I like, don't like about it, and I'll tell you what's next after this. So yeah, got this September 2021, and it is now April 23, and I really like the car. It's great. It's a machine, and it's very capable and very fun. It just, for my use case, I thought I was going to go to the track a lot, and it just has not happened. Life, gets in the way, gets busy. So anyway, gonna try something a little different. Gonna get a nice GT car, which I can still do awesome canyon runs with friends in. Much different motor in the car I'm getting, and like I said, I'll show you at the end here what I'm getting. But yeah, this car is really for the price. You can get one without paying too much of a markup. Is flat out just a lot of fun. So anyway, let's start at the top here. The exterior. Things that I don't like are the low ride height. I wish this came with a front axle lift. The 4RS version is an option to get the axle lift. I'd highly recommend that if you live anywhere that isn't flat as a pancake. You will scrape the front, but it is apparently like a cheap replaceable part. Cheap being $300 for Porsche, I guess, is a pretty good deal. I love the look of the front. It's mean. It looks kind of like the 918. Very cool. When you wash it, though, you get soap and water in here, because the air comes right through here and pops out here over the top. So if you don't wash that out really good after washing the car, it'll spray bubbles all over your windshield, which is kind of funny. The front trunk is very big and capable of holding a lot of stuff. I'm sure everyone that's watching this video knows that. These headlights are really great. They're the upgraded ones. Apparently you can't get them anymore. They turn and do all that fancy stuff. I honestly really don't think they're a needed option, especially if you don't drive at night very much. And if you get the base headlights on the car going forward, you can have these ugly washer nipples removed. They don't require that, so that's certainly a bonus of not getting the $2,500 headlights. Wheels, they're great. Sticky tires. One thing that's kind of annoying living where I live is that it's cold 6 months out of the year here, like too cold for Cup 2s anyway. You don't want to be driving on 30-degree roads in the morning. So I had to buy a set of aftermarket wheels, which are very cool, but also kind of expensive. Probably I spent about $4,500 on these tires, pressure monitor sensors, and the rims themselves. And you got to pay to have them swapped out if you don't want to do it yourself. So certainly another cost if you plan on driving the car year round. Definitely you want to take that into consideration, because driving on these Cup 2s is a stupid idea in the cold. It's not good for the tires, not good for the car. So yeah, gas goes in here. This car gets great gas mileage for the it's a 4-liter flat 6, and if I'm ringing it out, I'm still getting 25 miles per gallon, which is honestly quite impressive, to say the least. I mean, this is over many thousands of miles I've driven in this car, and you could put it in the annoying cylinder deactivation function and get probably 35 miles per gallon if you're just cruising, but then you have to listen to that horrible whale having sex noise. But that's another topic for later. These side scoops, super cool, but they collect a lot of crap. Got to make sure you keep those cleaned out. I know some people add screens, but I'm sure that just makes it harder to remove stuff later on. The wart up here, the I don't really use satellite. I don't know why they put these stupid things on the cars, but apparently in the 4RS version you can have that deleted, which would definitely give it a much cleaner look. And I would highly recommend you just don't even bother, because it's not like you can really hear the radio all that well anyway in that car. Yeah, lots of grip. The acceleration isn't so intense in this car that you're really, peeling the wheels out. I mean, obviously, if you turn all the traction control off, you're going to have a lot more ability to do that sort of stuff. But, big fat rear tires, very good. Visibility is not as bad as people say. The wing doesn't really get in the way all that much, believe it or not. You got good visibility. There's a backup camera in here, and driving this thing is about as easy as it gets. And I'll talk more about that later. The exhaust doesn't sound very good, let's be perfectly honest. It just doesn't do it for me. It's, it sounds like a Porsche, but I guess I'm not a flat six lover. It sounds okay. The race engine, the GT3 engine, the GT4 RS engine sounds so much better than this one. This one has a lot of injector clack. So if you're just putting along, it kind of sounds like a diesel, which is weird. It says piezo injectors that, with direct injection engines, it's loud and just how it is. Without a lot of sound dampening in the car, it definitely, you can hear everything. You can hear everything going on. So let's take a step inside here. And I do apologize for not being completely outside, as it's really freaking cold. We had snow last night. So anyway, mirror visibility is very good. I would highly recommend getting some tint. I have 30% on mine, and it blocks out the sun very well. I changed the door straps, as you may or may not know. Definitely looks a lot better in blue than it does in the stock silver. The interior itself is very nice. I can't complain about that. Definitely PPF these carbon door sills, otherwise they will get scratched up. Hopefully we can see in here. Oh man, I got a little bit of crap on the seat. Anyway, seats are 18 ways, are super comfortable. I highly recommend those if you are not sure about the buckets. The steering wheel is great. It's a little plasticky and creaky, but that's just kind of how things are these days. Yeah, so few options in here I would highly recommend getting. One is the smoking package, because you can then plug your battery tender directly in here, which is nice and convenient. I don't really need that anymore. But yeah, it goes right away, and there you go. It looks nice and clean as well, instead of having a big hole here. I would recommend the leather steering wheel. It just looks so much nicer than the Alcantara, aka Race Techs. Definitely recommend that, and get the stitching if you can. Try to match it up. I think it looks a lot better than the base, yellow stitching. Carbon trim is always nice. Certainly a personal preference for folks, but I think it looks really well. It goes really well in this dark interior, since the dark interior is the only one you can get. These pockets are handy. They hold GoPros and water bottles and all sorts of stuff. The functionality of the cockpit itself is great. All buttons that are very easy to use. There's not a whole lot of them, and I just, it's a really nice place to be. It's pretty tight in here, but it's, I'm 6'5", 6'6", and I am quite comfortable inside this vehicle. Get the Race Techs sun visors. Those are definitely something you want to get, so it matches up all nice. The plastic ones are really crappy, and you can't really change them out afterwards because it costs $1,500 after the fact, and it's like a $200 option or something from the factory. Yeah, so the car is very low, obviously, and it's loud, but the thing with this car is it's not really the engine that's loud, even though it's right behind your head. It's the friggin' tire noise that just, it's brutal for long trips. And I've taken a couple 1,000-mile journeys in this, and it's just, it's not the best for that. It's really not. It's just, the tire noise, it sounds like you're in an airplane basically for, you know, sitting off the wing right next to the engines, and it's just not all that great. A few other things: the air conditioning system works really well. The auto system works really well. Heated seats are nice, not necessary though. The car gets really hot considering the engine's right behind you. It'd be nice if they had cooled seats in these things, but they only have those in the GTS model, I guess. And ooh, I can finally take this off since I'm gonna be trading this in today. So why should someone else have the satisfaction? Let's do this. Yeah, that's nice. Anyway, as far as the rest of the interior goes, like I said, there's just not much here, which is nice, and that's what people like about these things. It drives so well that it's almost boring. I mean, it's not boring. You can just pitch this into a hairpin turn at friggin' 55, 60 miles an hour, and it won't get unsettled at all. It's just basically a go-kart, a big go-kart. And people like that, and I like it too, but I want to own a few other cars in my life, and I thought this was going to be a forever car, but I don't know. I just, the engine noise, the tire noise, it's all good. And like I said, my use case has changed. I thought I was going to be going to the track a lot more, and just life gets in the way. If you can take it to the track, I'm sure this is an amazing car. If you can afford to, you know, drive a $120,000+ car on the track, go for it. But yeah, as far as canyon runs, I mean, it's amazing. It's quick, it's fast. You can keep up with just about anything on the street. But the straight line acceleration coming out of corners just isn't there. And I'm at altitude, and with a naturally aspirated engine, that can, you know, it's just, it doesn't sound all that great. It doesn't accelerate all that great. It handles absolutely amazingly. Although if you do hit a bumpy corner or a bump in the turn, the McPherson strut suspension does not handle that all that well, and you know, you can really you know, spin out or whatever. Another thing is the lift off oversteer that these are notorious for. So if you're powering through a corner pretty quick and you let off the throttle, you can have some snap oversteer, and you know, that is very bad when you're going fast on a high-speed turn. So that's another thing that, you know, I'd like a little more stability, but, you know, like I said, I'm going to be, you know, I'm trading this for a GT car, which is going to be completely different, I know, but it'd still be sporty enough for my use case, which is mostly canyon runs and rallies and things like that. So, yeah, as far as any other pertinent information I can give out there, go ahead and do this if you want. This is a great car. It's just, it's not the perfect car, which there's probably not a perfect car out there, right? But I'm gonna try something else, and this was an amazing thing. Going through purchasing a GT car is painful as a root canal. I really wish that it wasn't such a pain in the ass and just a miserable experience. Although, to be fair, Gaudin Porsche Las Vegas was great. You know, they didn't screw me around with any over MSRP games or anything like that. You know, I did have to wait a while, as you know, to get this car. But yeah, I think this is about it. One other thing I wouldn't bother optioning would be the auto dimming mirrors. I mean, seriously, can you not do that for $700 when it's, you know, nighttime out? And who needs automatic wipers? Like, that's so stupid. The lighting package is nice though, because you get this home link system, so garage door, and then if you have a valve controller, you know, valves open, valves close, you can program it to this, which is nice. Although it is kind of cheap plastic, it's just, you know, is what it is. And then you get these little LED interior lights, which I'm sure are helpful at night. Yeah, so don't bother with the phone charger thing in here either. That's kind of a waste. I'm sure it'll be out of date and out of it won't work with your phone, is basically what I'm trying to say. The manual is awesome. It's the easiest manual I have ever driven in my life. It is so easy to use. It has automatic, like if you're reversing out of a parking space, you don't have to hit the gas. You just let go of the clutch and it'll ease you right out. It has hill stop assist, so it'll, you know, if you're on an incline, it'll basically like use the parking brake or something to keep you from rolling backwards, and you just kind of off you go, which is really nice where I live. Also, the rev matching, super handy if you're not great at heel towing. I mean, some people love to heel tow. I don't really care. And you know, it just it's another added feature to make the car a little more exciting. The biggest gripe that everyone has, and it's very valid, is the tall gearing. You know, first gear is fun, but it's still very tall. And by the time you're at the top of first gear at 8,000 RPMs, you're almost at the highway speed limit. Second gear tops out, I believe, around 84 miles an hour. So, you know, if I was going to keep this car for forever, I would highly recommend getting the shorter gear set, because it's a great shifter and you want to use it, but you really can't. So when you're running through the canyons, you know, you're basically in like second or third gear the whole time. Second if you want to be really loud and annoying, and third gear if you want to just kind of easily move your way through the canyons. But you know, fourth, fifth, sixth gear, you're not using those at all except on the highway. Yeah, so the engine itself, like I said, is very fuel efficient and great, but it just doesn't excite me, which I know is kind of weird for an 8,000 RPM 4-liter engine. But I'm telling you, there's a humongous difference between the race engine, the GT3 engine, and this, what is it, 9A A2 Evo that's found in the 911. It's just a huge difference in how it sounds and how its throttle response and everything is just turned up a notch, which I guess is why people are paying so much more for the GT4 RS. My friend has one, and it is, man, it's just a completely different vehicle. And I would love to have one at MSRP, but I'm not paying friggin' McLaren Lambo money for a little Cayman, which, you know, some people will. Anyway, let's wrap this up here with, let me go to the trunk or something and show that real quick, show the engine. So anyway, here's the engine. Wow. Sure, I actually had to top this off with oil on one of my trips. Had to put a liter in there, but the nice thing about these is that Porsche gives you a free oil change, so that's nice. You get to save $500 or whatever ridiculous amount they charge you for that. I'm just seeing if there's anything in these pockets. Nope, but nice little storage space back there. Yeah, so this is the GT4. There we go. That's our GT4. Go bye-bye. If you guys have any questions about owning one of these cars and why perhaps some people sell them quickly, like me after a year and a half, there's a lot of valid reasons, and I wouldn't rush to judgment about using these. If you know, if it's not for you, it's not for you. But saying this is like Doug DeMuro saying this is like the greatest sports car ever, I mean, I don't think so. It's a very good car. It's a machine, and it just is so good. You don't ever have to worry about anything. So if that is right up your alley, then this is the car for you. But some people need a little more drama in their lives, and I guess that's me. So anyway, this beautiful boy is getting traded to Mark Motors in Bourne, Texas. So if you're interested in buying it, I'm sure they would sell it to you for a lovely over MSRP price. But this car is in great shape. I haven't had any issues at all. Yeah, so anyway, if you have any questions, you know, if you're pondering purchasing one of these, feel free to ask me anything, and I will do my best to answer it in a timely manner. So anyway, thanks for watching. This is my ownership review of a 22 Cayman Porsche GT4. And yeah, it's been great. I've had a lot of fun with it, but it's time to move on. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys soonish.